Welcome back, A-Luxers. We know one of the reasons you subscribe to this channel is because you're looking to increase your wealth. And we also know a lot of you love traveling to exciting and exotic locations. Let's be honest, who doesn't? So in today's video, we're combining these two hot topics with our list of the 15 best countries to invest in real estate right now. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Investing in property doesn't require more money than any other type of asset. We realize not all of you will be in a position to do this right now, so you might think of it as a longer-term goal. But if you do have the cash, real estate is one of the safest stores of wealth imaginable. Not only will it increase in value, it'll also bring you income through renting it. But exactly how much income depends on a lot of factors, and some countries are more attractive than others on this list, so you might want to consider investing in property in one of these. Remember, you don't need to be based there yourself. Most places have accredited agencies who can look after many landlord responsibilities for you, for short-term renting as well as long-term. Of course, they will take their cut, but it will still be very profitable. But with this said, you'll still want to make trips there from time to keep an eye on your investment. Which means if you take all the right steps and invest wisely, a property in a foreign country could be a pass into the jet-setting club. Now, there are a few things we've considered in choosing these countries, but the most important one is net yield. That means how much money you'll have to make each year as a percentage of your original investment after you've paid taxes. Most experts agree that 5% is decent, while 8% is good, but there are factors to look out for too, like stability of the country's economy and countries where the economy's growing fast or where tourism is on an upswing will all get bonus points. So if you watch this video until the end, you'll get to know where some of the world's most attractive locations are for savvy real estate investors, as well as learning a thing or two about a few niche markets in the international property world. So let's get straight to it, shall we? Here are the 15 best countries to invest in real estate right now. Number 15. Croatia. With more than 1,000 islands and 6,000 kilometers of Adriatic coastline, who wouldn't want a piece of stunning Croatia? And as well as the huge tourist market, foreign investment is rising fast. So whether you're looking at renting out to business travelers or to the 20 million tourists who visit each year, you should be able to have your property fully booked for short-term rentals. Number 14. Cyprus. This Mediterranean island is getting more and more attention for its beaches and nightlife, but it's also a regional business hub and it attracts a large number of business travelers. Remember that all over the world, business travelers staying for more than a few days often prefer to rent an apartment than stay in a hotel, and the Cypriot government is doing lots to attract investors. One example is being the lowest rental tax on this list, 0% on the first $23,000 you bring in. Number 13. The United Arab Emirates. If you're planning on getting your membership into the most exclusive clubs of international travelers, you won't want to leave Dubai off your list. And you could give yourself another reason to go there by buying a property that will bring you dividends. The UAE has a huge expat population, so you could be looking at a stable long-term rent or lucrative tourist rentals. Either way, the demand is always high. On top of that, the UAE is one of the most tax-friendly countries in the world. Rental taxes are just 5%, and with low income taxes too, that means tenants will also have more income to spend on rent. Number 12. Belize. Next up is a country a lot of people don't know that much about. If you didn't know, Belize is located on Central America's Caribbean coast, and word is spreading fast about what it has to offer to tourists, from beaches lined with palm trees to dense jungles. That means the number of visitors is on the rise, and the trend is set to continue. If you invest in short-term tourist rentals in the right location, you could well be looking at 8% net yields or above. Number 11. France. Let's start with a disclaimer. France doesn't have one of the highest rental yields on this list. Properties there are expensive, and as a general rule, more expensive properties get lower yields. But as the world's most visited country, it's a safe bet your property will be booked year-round. Not just in Paris, but in Nice, Strasbourg, or Lyon, any of its popular tourist destinations. But the key here is that properties in France grow in value, especially in high-demand Paris. So when you eventually sell it, it's likely it'll have gone up in value considerably. If you can afford it, a piece of Paris real estate isn't just a sign of status, it's one of the surest stores of long-term wealth. Number 10. Barbados. How do you go one step up from the jet-setting lifestyle? Well, the answer is simple: the island-hopping lifestyle. And for this, there are a few upmarket Caribbean islands you could consider, but we've chosen Barbados, which is famous for carnivals, windswept beaches, and of course, Rihanna. As tourism here is pretty high-end, investing in it is more of an option for those with deeper pockets. But it also has one of the highest tourist rental rates in the world and low income taxes, and that means a plentiful stream of cash from your tropical island investment. Number 9. Costa Rica. This Central American country has Caribbean and Pacific coastlines, lush rainforest, and steady numbers of tourists. And importantly, it also has high yields and low taxes on property rentals. In fact, the Costa Rican government is keen to encourage foreign investment, so buying a property there is hassle-free and straightforward. And to cap it all off, entry prices are reasonable, so it's an option for investors who don't have bottomless bank accounts. Number 8. Indonesia. This Southeast Asian country has 17,000 islands, and when it comes to tourism, the best known of them is Bali, which conjures up images of tropical beaches and romantic getaways. Plus, it's very popular with digital nomads, who'll often be looking at medium-term rentals. And if you're buying a property for tourists or expat rentals, you should have renters on a regular basis. And Indonesia has one of the highest average yields on property anywhere, at 8.6%. Number 7. Mexico. Mexico has been getting a bad rap in recent years because of its drug cartels, but if you stay away from the danger zones, you should be able to avoid trouble. And what we're interested in here is Mexico's huge tourist market. It's popular for visitors from North America and beyond, and also for the Mexican middle class, which is growing steadily. Well-known beach paradises like Cancun or Puerto Vallarta are safe bets when it comes to investing in gated properties, or you could go for a more up-and-coming spot like Tulum on Mexico's Caribbean coast. Number 6. Turkey. This is another country where people have been reluctant to buy recently. In this case, it's because of political instability since 2016, but the economy is going strong and Turkey's political problems haven't affected tourism. In fact, in 2018, Istanbul was the 9th most visited city in the world, above Berlin, Barcelona, and Rome. But fewer foreigners buying property does mean bargain prices for real estate. As well as Istanbul, you could go for one of Turkey's more popular beach resorts. And what's more, low prices for buying property also mean it's attractive for investors that don't have loads of cash to spare. Number 5. The Philippines. This country boasts an economy on the rise and some of the best conditions around for foreigners to invest in, namely high rental yields and low taxes of just over 4%. Rentals could be for tourist markets, or they could be in business districts where the high demand for quality housing and office space exists. And this demand is constantly rising, especially in big cities like Manila or Quezon City. Just keep in mind that foreigners aren't allowed to own land, but they can own condos or office space. Number 4. Portugal. Portugal offers visitors generous helpings of culture, beaches, and nightlife. When it comes to property, it doesn't look so spectacular at first glance. That is, until you notice that Portugal has got a very specific niche, renovating old, rundown properties and turning them into chic designer holiday rentals. Of course, this might not be for everybody. If you're going to renovate, you'll need to invest some time, money above the purchase price, possibly skills, and a large amount of patience and determination. But there are others who will jump at the opportunity, and if they can do it well, there are big profits to be made in Portugal. Add to that property prices are rising and are likely to keep on doing that. Portugal gets a prime spot on our list. Number 3. Brazil. For well-seasoned world travelers, doing the samba at the Rio Carnival should be on your bucket list. But the real hotspots for investing in property aren't the old favorites. They're the up-and-coming tourist destinations, and none more so than Fortaleza. This city on Brazil's northeast coast has 30 kilometers of tropical beaches, as well as a bustling old town full of nightlife. and it's surrounded by hundreds of kilometers of virgin beaches and spectacular sand dunes. Until recently, beach-loving Brazilians managed to keep this secret mostly to themselves, but word is getting out and international tourism is on the upswing. Adding the fact that Brazil's currency, the real, is currently low and expected to rise. Right now, that means good rental yields, and it could transform into excellent yields in a few years' time. Some experts predict yields of 15% or above on Fortaleza, and beachside properties are especially profitable. Number 2. Thailand. It's no secret that Thailand is huge with tourists. In fact, Bangkok was the world's most visited city in 2018, and it's got a strong economy. The country's average yield isn't that amazing, but there are huge variations, so look around into the right location and the property type, and you could be talking about yields of well over 10%. In particular, consider the areas of Bangkok with large numbers of expats or tourist hotspots like Phuket, Koh Samui, or Chiang Mai. However, keep in mind that in Thailand, foreigners can't own land, but they can buy upmarket condos, and that's where the real profits for foreigners can be found. Number 1. Panama. The top spot on our list may come as a surprise to some of you out there, but the fact is, this small Central American country has a lot more going for it than the world's most famous canal. In fact, when it comes to real estate, it's got pretty much everything. An economy on the upswing thanks to trade deals with China. Its beaches and nightlife are helping it to work its way up tourist wish lists. Rapidly growing numbers of business travelers, and of course, high rental yields and low taxes. All the signals tell us if you invest now, the value of your property as well as the rents you'll be able to charge will only go up and up. And Aluxers, that's a wrap for the world's real estate hotspots right now. If this video has inspired you to invest in property in another country, just remember to do lots and lots of research and get advice from accredited sources. Also, be aware of local laws that cover different types of ownership and complex tax implications, things that we've only been able to briefly touch on in the video. If you cut corners, you could lose money and bring yourself a lot of grief instead of profit. But invest wisely and you could earn yourself a steady source of income and an attractive base in a foreign country. Now, before you go, Aluxers, we're curious. Which of these countries that we've mentioned would you like to invest in property the most? Let us know in the comments. And of course, for sticking with us until the end, here's your bonus, and it's a heads up. You probably won't want to invest in property in Japan. And here's why. Here at Alux, we're fans of Japan and the many things that are Japanese, but not the real estate market. Across the world, real estate almost always appreciates in value, but not in Japan, where, as a rule, the value of property goes down over time. Why? Simply because buildings are demolished and rebuilt at such a fast rate that they soon become obsolete as an investment. On average, Japanese houses lose half their value within 10 years of construction, and most of them are torn down within 40 years. As a result, the real estate market for houses is practically non-existent, which also explains why Japan has 4 times as many architects and twice as many construction workers as the USA. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also hand-picked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question on our website, alux.com. Thank you for being an Aluxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.